In this part 2, we'll talk about economic importance of fungi. So, fungi is having no chlorophyll, which means it depends on others for the food. And fungi, if we talk about general study, fungi is of various forms, out of which there is one mold we'll talk about in this case, and then there is yeast and mushroom. They all are types of fungi. Now, talking about structure of mold is having thread-like structures known as hyphae. Alright, then these hyphae produce on their tip a structure known as sporangium. Inside this sporangium are present the spores. Whenever the conditions are favorable, these sporangium they break down and spores are released in the atmosphere. Now, whenever these spores will find a particular or a peculiar thing to eat, or if they'll get something to settle down, they'll immediately settle themselves and start growing again. For example, the spores were roaming here and there in the atmosphere. They got some stale bread or some stale chapati, then they will settle themselves here. And then they'll start growing. They'll again form thread-like structures known as hyphae, then sporangium, and this process goes on. Okay, so these hyphae, they cannot eat the bread directly. What they do is they release some of the chemicals, enzymes. They release enzymes outside on the bread, and then these enzymes break down the bread for them, and then they absorb food. This is known as extracellular digestion, which means that digestion is not taking place inside the cells of this fungi, but digestion is taking place outside. So this is known as extracellular digestion. And we just talked about reproduction, how they reproduce. They form a structure known as sporangia. Inside the sporangia dwell the spores, and these spores are the ones which settle down and then again forms a new mold. Okay, next is yeast. Yeast are basically spherical cells. A lot of species of yeast are there, but the major one which is used in number of processes, or which is having a number of uses, is the Saccharomyces. Okay, yeast are found freely in the atmosphere here and there. Right now in your room, number of yeast and spores are present. And what does their structure looks like? They are ovoid, oval shape. Oops. They are oval shaped, somewhat like this. Inside them are present bigger vacuoles or the smaller vacuoles, then the cytoplasm, nucleus as well. Their nucleus is covered. Okay, and then there is cell wall and cell membrane as well. Okay, this is the structure of yeast. They do not need oxygen for their respiration. So how does they respirate? The process is known as anaerobic respiration, because they do not need oxygen for respiration. That is why they play a number of roles in the industry, like alcohol. So yeast is used for the production of alcohol because it does not breathe with the oxygen, and when any of the bacteria, or say yeast itself, it breaks itself or the food in the absence of oxygen, then alcohol is produced. So yeast is helpful in the number of bakery products production as well as alcohol production. Next is the useful and harmful fungi. Talking about the useful role of fungi, firstly, we read in the previous part as well that fungi plays a role in the formation of or in the production of antibiotics. The very first antibiotic that was discovered, the penicillin, it is formed from mold only, fungi only. Okay, so antibiotic is a chemical substance which is produced by a living organism, and it can stop the growth or kill another microorganism. So penicillin, the first antibiotic discovered, it itself is a mold. So fungi, mold is a type of fungi. Fungi, they are used in the production of antibiotics. Then fungi plays a major role in industry as well. Which industry? They are used in the wine industry for the production of alcohol. What is done for the production of alcohol is that grape sugar, or like jaggery, it is kept in a vessel. Then the mold is allowed to grow in it. The yeast will grow, the mold will grow in it. Because the mold does not need oxygen for respiration, so this vessel is completely covered. So they will continuously break down the cane sugar or the jaggery into the simpler forms, and the end products will be alcohol and carbon dioxide. So for the production of alcohol in the industry, in the wine industry, what is used? It is fungi. Okay, and this fungi is also used in the bakeries for bread making, etc. How? Because we just said that fungi do not need oxygen. So when this fungi is allowed to feed on something, one thing it will produce is alcohol, and another thing which it will form is carbon dioxide. So bread, because it is produced in open, so this alcohol, it will just dry away. But this carbon dioxide will make the dough which is used to prepare pastries, dosa, idli and bread, it will make the dough fluffy. Okay, fluffy due to this carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is produced inside this dough. Alcohol will also be produced, but this alcohol will dry itself away, because alcohol, it's a, what do we call this? It just dries away. And carbon dioxide, basically, it makes the dough fluffy, and this dough is then used for the production of bakery products. Then fungi is also used in cheese production. And then the major discussion here will be about mushroom cultivation. So wherever you see mushrooms, just do not start picking and eating them, because all mushrooms are not edible. There are only few mushrooms which are edible that you can eat. They are white button mushroom. Then there is one paddy straw. Also learn their scientific names. This paddy straw is Wolveriella. And then there is one oyster known as Pleurotus, and then this white button mushroom which mainly you eat, which is present in market, its scientific name is Agaricus bisporus. Okay, so these are some of the edible mushrooms that you can eat. Not all the mushrooms are edible. So how this mushroom is grown? Firstly, a compost is prepared. The very first step is composting. A compost is prepared. A compost consists of wheat or paddy, this wheat or paddy, along with some chicken manure, along with some another fertilizers. This is kept for about 1 week in the field at around 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this compost, it prepares itself. After a week, you will spread the mushroom seed on this. This process is known as spawning. After preparing the compost, you will spread the mushroom seed. Okay, so introduction of mushroom seeds, this is known as spawning. Alright, after a couple of days, on this area, you will spread a thin layer of soil. This process is known as casing. A very thin layer of soil is spread on this compost. This soil will give support to the mushroom, it will provide moisture to the mushroom, and it will help to maintain the temperature also. Okay, so after few weeks you will observe from in within 2 to 6 weeks you will find that tiny heads of the mushroom start appearing. In this case you will harvest the mushroom. So fourth step is harvesting. You will pick up the mushroom which you think that this can be sold in market, and then last step is preserving the mushroom, because mushroom they get um, spoiled easily, so they need to be preserved, and in order to preserve them they either must be cooled or they can be passed through gamma radiation and then stored at 15 degrees Celsius, or freeze dry them. Add a solution of citric acid, ascorbic acid and brine. There is one solution made up of citric acid, ascorbic acid and brine. Brine is nothing but solution of salt and water. Add these three things in the mushroom and freeze them and dry them, and then they'll not be spoiled. Right? And this mushroom is of great food quality. Mushroom are excellent source of vitamins and minerals. They have good amount of amino acids like niacin, pantothenic acid and biotin. Then they also have number of vitamins. Then there is high protein, carbohydrate and some of the fats and minerals in them. So this mushroom, they are of quite a high quality food, so you must eat them. That is all about the chapter, and that is all about our syllabus as well.